So it's our biggest game of the season, isn't it? Tomorrow night here in Spain. It's the Europa League semi-final first leg. Unai Emery against Mikel Arteta. This is a Villarreal versus Arsenal match preview. Hello, my name is Richard. Welcome back to my channel over and over and over again. In this video, I'm going to look ahead to tomorrow night's big Europa League semi-final here in Villarreal. I'm going to look at some history of the club. I'm going to profile their coach. We don't know much about him, do we? I'm going to also look at previous meetings, current form. I'm going to predict our lineup and give a score prediction. Before I get into that, I'll make sure that you are subscribing to my channel. If you're new here, you enjoy what I do, or maybe you've been here before, you haven't got round to it yet. The question is why. But if you haven't, please click on the subscribe button down in the corner there. It does help the channel to grow, reach a larger audience. It is free of charge. And also, if you've got any comments to make about this game, about anything to do with Arsenal, please drop them in the comments box, because I love to hear from you guys as well. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like as well, because it also helps the channel to grow. So Villarreal, they were formed in 1923, but they spent over 70 years of their existence in the lower leagues in Spain. And it wasn't until 1998 that they finally got promoted to La Liga for the first time. It became a bit of a yo-yo club after that, but they did qualify for the Champions League for the first time in their history in 2005. That was, of course, a memorable campaign for them, and also for Arsenal as well, if you remember. They did actually beat Everton in the qualifiers. They then drew with Manchester United twice in the group stage before knocking out Rangers on their way to a semi-final meeting, of course, with Arsenal. I'll come on to that a little bit more later on. They are nicknamed the Yellow Submarine due to their yellow kit, and the highest final position in the league was runners-up in 2008. They've never actually won a major trophy, although they have won the Intertoto Cup twice. So Villarreal's coach, of course, is Unai Emery, who we know very well after he spent, of course, 18 months as manager at Arsenal, which he took over in May 2018. He actually was in charge of 78 games at Arsenal, of which we won 43, drew 10 and lost 19, which was a 55.1% win ratio, which actually is about average for his entire coaching career. Of course, he did reach the Europa League final with us, didn't he, in 2019, although the less said about that game against Chelsea in Baku, the better. Of course, he's got a great record in this Europa League competition, hasn't he? He won it 3 times in a row with Sevilla. He also won the treble with PSG just before he came to Arsenal. He did take over here at Villarreal in the summer of 2020. This is his first season in charge. And again, it looks like he's on another mission to win another Europa League. This season, actually, Unai Emery has beaten the Villarreal unbeaten record. They went 18 games without defeat, a run that ended in December. That, of course, matches very similar, doesn't it, to the run he had at Arsenal in his first season with us as well, when we went 22 games unbeaten, didn't we, under Unai Emery? This will be our 5th meeting with Villarreal. The previous 4, of course, were in the Champions League. The first time we met them was in the semi-final in 2006, which I touched on a bit earlier in this video. The first leg was at Highbury. We won 1-0. It was a first half goal from Kolo Touré. So it was a very small lead to take here to Villarreal. Of course, that second leg was a famous game, wasn't it? Very tense night. And in the last minute, of course, Jens Lehmann saved a penalty, didn't he, from Riquelme to send us into our first and so far only Champions League final. We met Villarreal again, actually, 3 years later in 2009. That was in the quarterfinals. This time the first leg was here. We went 1-0 down early on to a goal from Maros Senna, but we did equalise in the second half. It was a spectacular finish, actually, from Emmanuel Adebayor. The second leg at Highbury was a great performance from Arsenal. We won 3-0 to get through to the semi-final. That was goals from Theo Walcott, Adebayor again, and a Van Persie penalty. So we've got a decent record against them. We've won 2 and drawn 2. In fact, we've won the 2 at home and drawn the 2 away. So let's hope we can continue that record this week. In In terms of current form then, Villarreal are actually 7th in La Liga, but they're only 1 point off the top 5, which would qualify them, of course, for Europe next season. But in their last 15 league games, they've only won 4, and they've lost 3 of their last 4. They've had problems here at home as well. They've only got 1 win in their last 7 league games, and they've actually lost 4 of their last 5 here at home. So that's very, very similar record to what we've got. However, in the Europa League, it's been a different story completely. They won their group, which included Maccabi Tel Aviv, Sivasspor, and our old friends Karabag. They won 5 of those games and drew the other one. And in the knockout stages so far, they've won all 6 games. Really impressive that was. They won home and away against Salzburg, home and away against Kiev, and home and away against Zagreb as well. In fact, they've only conceded 2 goals in those 6 games, and they've won all the away games without conceding. Their top scorer this season is Gerard Moreno. He's got 26 goals. Impressive record that is. 6 of those have come in the Europa League. And Paco Alcacer as well. He's got 11 goals this season, but 6 of those have also come in the Europa League. So those 2 are going to be the big threat, aren't they, for us this week? So in terms of the lineup then, we do seem to have a few players back from injury this week. So there could be a few changes and we could be a slightly stronger side than we've had in the last few games. So I think this is how we'll line up. The goalkeeper actually is an interesting one, isn't it? Bernd Leno, of course, had an absolute nightmare, didn't he, against Everton, and Matt Ryan's ready to step in. But I think for this game, I do think Mikel Arteta will stick with Bernd Leno. In terms of the back 4, I think at right back, Callum Chambers will start. He's been starting most of the games lately. He's been doing okay. I think the centre-backs, David Luiz is supposedly back. I would put him straight back in the team if he's fit, and I would partner him with Gabriel, and that has been our best defensive partnership this season. The left-back's an interesting one. Granit Xhaka showed his limitations, didn't he, against Everton at left-back. Maybe it's time to put Cedric in there in this game. That would then leave Xhaka to come back into midfield alongside Thomas Partey. Then in the front 4, I think Martin Odegaard looks fit again, so I would start him in the number 10 position. Bukayo Saka obviously will start on the right-hand side. The centre-forward position is going to be interesting. Looks like Lacazette's going to be out of his hamstring injury. There's news that Aubameyang might be fit again, actually, following his malaria. Unsure about that. I think if he's fit, he's probably going to start through the middle. And then on the left, it's a choice really then, isn't it, between Gabriel Martinelli and Emil Smith-Rowe. I believe Mikel Arteta will go with Emil Smith-Rowe because that tends to be what he's done in most of the games this season. Of course, the other alternative is Martinelli could start through the middle if Aubameyang isn't fit. So our score prediction then, it's going to be a really tough game, isn't it? Villarreal aren't in the best of form, certainly at home, and we do play better away. And I do think that could be the difference in this game. It's going to be a very tense night, isn't it? I'm not expecting a similar 4-0 victory that we enjoyed in our last away game in this competition at Slavia Prague. And of course, the one before that, Olympiacos, we won 3-1 as well. So we are in good form away from home. I think we can get a result here. Can we win? I'm not sure. I think we might need to win because our home form is so poor. But I'm going to predict the final score here tomorrow night. It's going to be Villarreal 1, Arsenal 1. We'll have a good away goal and a decent result to take back to the Emirates. So that's my preview there, the Europa League semi-final first leg here in Villarreal tomorrow evening. It's going to be a very tense night, isn't it? I'm sure. Let's hope we can put a good performance in and we can put these poor league performances behind us and just go for it in this competition now. It's a great opportunity, isn't it, to get through to the final. You know, Villarreal certainly on league form and not that different to us, are they? So it should be a pretty evenly matched game. But I'm sure the subcontext of this game, of course, is Emery against Arteta, isn't it? Emery's going to want to prove a point, isn't he, against a man who was brought in to replace him. It's going to be an interesting game either way, isn't it? Bearing in mind, of course, Unai Emery probably knows a lot of the strengths and weaknesses of these players, doesn't he? There's a few new faces, of course, in the team since he was here, but he'll certainly have a little bit more information on our team than what we have on his team. So that's going to be an interesting battle, isn't it, to see how he sets up his team to combat our threat and what Mikel Arteta's tactics are for this game. It's a season-defining game. It's probably a career-defining game for Mikel Arteta, isn't it? Because I think if we lose this game, not necessarily this one leg, but if we lose the tie overall and we're knocked out, you have to wonder if Mikel Arteta is going to still be in charge next season. So it's a big game for him. It's a massive game for the club, our only way back into Europe, really, and a great opportunity to try and get back in the Champions League. So all hands on deck for this game. All this talk of the takeover, all this talk of protest needs to be put to one side. These next 2 games in the Europa League are massive. That's what we all need to focus on. We need to get behind the team, get behind the manager, and let's hope that we can get the right result. So stay tuned to the channel then, because I've got a lot of great stuff coming up over the next few days. I will be doing a watch along of this game tomorrow night. It's 8 o'clock kickoff, so I'll be going live about 7:45 with all the team news, a bit of build up, and then we'll go into the game. You'll be able to see all the emotions of a semi-final. I'm sure it'll be a very stressful night, but it's going to be enjoyable as well. So please tune in to that at 7:45 tomorrow. Then of course we've been looking ahead to the Newcastle game on Sunday. Yes, we have still got some Premier League games to play as well, and let's hope we can get a few better results there as well. Friday night I've got a warm-up show. I've got a Newcastle fan coming on. That's going to be good. I'll be also appearing on a couple of Newcastle channels over the weekend as well, ahead of that game on Sunday, which again I will be doing a watch along of that. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff, so I'll go live about 1:45 for that. Obviously match preview video, match review videos as well, all coming out as well over the next few days. So loads coming up on the channel. So if you haven't done so already, please click the subscribe button down in the corner there. It is free of charge. It does help the channel to reach a larger audience. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like as well, and drop your comments in the box what you make of this game tomorrow night. Can we get a result? Can we win? I think it's possible with our away form and their poor home form, but European semi-finals, Unai Emery's got a great record in this competition, so it's going to be tough, isn't it? But let me know what you think. And I say thanks for your support of the channel. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Loads of great stuff coming up as we head towards the biggest week of the season, isn't it? Really is a massive week for the club. I say let's put everything else to one side and just focus on this massive game and hopefully getting the right result. Come on, you Gunners.